So let's get to what's going on here, because
Yeah.
there's a lot happening in the world. The Justice Department released a massive list of names from the Epstein files and claimed their job is done. Now, you know who also thinks this matter is settled, but both sides of the aisle are demanding transparency, including Hillary Clinton. Take a look.
We have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work. I don't recall ever meeting him. We are more than happy to say what we know, which is very limited and totally unrelated to their behavior or their crimes. And we want to do it in public because let's make this transparent.
I have nothing to hide. I've been exonerated. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. They went in hoping that they'd find it and found just the opposite. I've been totally exonerated.
Donald Trump told us that even though, he had dinner with these kinds of people in New York City and West Palm Beach, that he would be transparent, but he's not. He's still in with the Epstein class. This is the Epstein administration, and they're attacking me for trying to get these files released.
Now, in the name of transparency, can you put up my name is in the files? Yes. And what does it say? It says, Whoopi needs a plane to get to Monaco. John Lennon's charity, it should say Julian Lennon's charity, is paying for it. They don't want to charter, so they're looking for private owners. Here's the info. And they give all the information, and they're saying, do you want to offer your G2? Okay.
And it looks like they said no thanks.
Yeah.
So in other words, anybody can be on this list.
Well, this is my point, because I'm telling you, when I tell you people are trying to turn me into, I wasn't his girlfriend, I wasn't his friend.
You were too old for him.
I was not only too old, but it was at a time, where this is just not, you used to have facts before you said stuff.
But Trump is on the list 38,000 times.
Well, I can't speak to him, but I'm speaking about me because I'm getting dragged. People actually believe that I was with him. It's like, honey, come on. Yeah. Every man that I've ever been with, you've known about him because either the Inquirer wrote it about it.
Yeah.
Your people wrote about this stuff. So no, I never had this, and no, I didn't get on the plane because you know what I would have to do to get on the plane?
Fly.
They were trying to,
And she doesn't fly.
No, so they're trying
She's
to get
a bus
me.
babe.
They're trying to get me to get on a plane to get to this thing for Julian Lennon.
Yeah, but the thing is, they dropped like 300 names.
Yes.
And it's like flood the zone because when you're looking, there are people like Marilyn Monroe, who was dead.
Elvis.
Yeah, a lot of people, because
thing.
a lot of the reasons your name can be mentioned are news articles, third-party emails, contacts. Again, wealthy, famous people often cross in professional and social circles, so that's not the surprising part. I think the part most people like myself are looking for is an accountability for the people that had a depth of relationship, the timing of that relationship, and the nature of that relationship. Nobody wants to know that young girls were victimized, and because of power and money, people turned their cheek.
Yes.
Like, was this covered up? I think no one should be above scrutiny, no amount of status should soften abuse, and no system should protect the powerful over victims. That's the problem.
Why doesn't this guy Comer want the Clintons to testify in public if that's true?
Well, I mean, you have to have a deposition first. It's what happened in Jack Smith. So having a deposition, and that deposition will be made public because the Clintons are, in fact, trying to twist things and get sound bites from a public hearing. So having a deposition allows each individual to have different members of their teams in there asking the right questions, the hard questions, to then gather it for
Do you
a hearing.
want to see the whole thing on television, their whole testimony? Because
Yes.
I do.
Yes, I do.
And
I do.
that's what would happen with a public hearing, and I think that's what the Clintons are asking for. What the government is asking for and what the Republicans are asking for is more in line with what you're suggesting, Savannah, a private, closed-door deposition, and then bits and pieces get to dribble out. I, myself, would prefer to see a public hearing. And what I also would like to see is not only transparency, but even-handed dealing with different people. You have several people that have been subpoenaed by Congress. Many of them have been allowed to just provide either a deposition or an affidavit, and then the subpoenas have been released. The Clintons have both provided affidavits, yet they still want them to come behind closed doors, and be deposed.
That's the problem.
I say no.
Yeah.
The Clintons have done everything that everybody else has done. Now, let's make it public. Let's hear it.
Who
because
makes that decision, though, Sonny?
it would be Congress. And the other thing that I will say, just to put a button on it, we're saying, okay, 3 million documents have been released. Well, there are 6 million documents that exist.
But
Where
there
are the
also-
other 3 million documents? If we're talking about transparency, let's see them all.
Yeah, I
Let's
wanna
see
see
I would say that 3.5 million documents are transparent. A lot of things that aren't being put out are being held up by the courts. You have child pornography that's in there that they're trying to hold out. There's a lot of things that are being held out. And the last administration very well could have put all this out there. If they thought they had a smoking gun for the president, they would have put it out here before the election.
They could have put it out. It crosses administrations. The fault
Yes.
is on multiple administrations. But the thing that makes me lose some trust in what you're saying is that they've also released victim names and they've covered up offenders.
That's the
So
issue.
that kind of oopsie to me, like, makes me more suspicious. It's like they keep putting more smoke, and then you're like, where's the fire? What are you hiding?
I think it's also hard, though, when you have victims who are coming out publicly speaking and telling their stories and doing press conferences. So they're taking a hold of their story, so it's hard when there are
but
some
that's
names
their
that come
choice.
out. Yes, that's their choice. But in the White House, they are correcting things. The DOJ even put out a link. If the public sees something that needs to be redacted, we've had over 500 people reviewing millions of documents.
Yes, but
Let
if
us
it
know.
needs, if the problem is, if you see it and it needs to be redacted, it's too late.
It's too late. You
It's
can't
already
undo
out there.
that.
You can't. You
And the
can't
other
do it.
problem is, why are they redacting the names of powerful men and others? Why
Somebody's
are those
protecting
names
them.
being
Well,
redacted?
part of the problem is this is so messily done.
Yeah.
That it's meant to keep everybody off
That's
kilter.
right.
And so, as you said, there could be a zillion names in there, and for lots of different reasons. Some we need to be investigating, some are just there for whatever reason they're there. But what is very clear, and everybody needs to remember, is every one of those women who feel that they have to come out now because their names were released, because all of these things, this should be redacted or shouldn't be redacted. If you're gonna release stuff, you should know what you're releasing. So you knew you had people's names in there. They knew.
I honestly feel like this is a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because everyone has been screaming for transparency when it comes to the files, and now there's trying to be transparency with what's happening now, and even when it comes to the Clintons. You know, back in July of 2015, Republicans and Democrats both agreed. They approved the subpoenas, and the Clintons did not appear. January 13th, January 14th, neither of them appeared, and it took 6 months for them to agree to something, and they keep moving the goalpost. So if you want
They haven't
transparency,
moved, but they have come. They are there now, and they're saying, "Let's do this in public." And if you don't want conspiracy theories, you must do it in public. You have to put the light on it. You have to put the light on it.
the Republican Party is not saying we don't want it in public. We're saying give us depositions like we did with Jack Smith, and then let's have a public hearing.
I
don't know.
Unfortunately, as an alum of the Department of Justice, I don't recognize this Department of Justice. The Department of Justice was supposed to release the Epstein files. I can't remember the date exactly, but it was December 19th, 2025. We're already in February. It's being let out drips and dribbles. I think the bottom line is transparency is being used in a very, very fluid way. And this is a pedophile ring. These are young girls that were
That's the thing
sexually
to remember.
abused.
That's the bottom line. Nothing else
They're
is as
true
important
victims.
as that. You know who in the Clintons have denied any wrongdoing and any knowledge of Epstein's crime.